What?
Hello and welcome to Wellner Anderson. This is episode 4. It's about the man behind Martin Luther King. There may have been no iconic I Have a Dream speech if this gentleman didn't exist. He did not write the speech. And there may have been no March on Washington in 1963 if it wasn't for this man. He was the inspiration behind the march and got people together. But little known even more is Martin Luther King may have not been a pacifist if he didn't meet him. The man behind MLK. Sometimes he's called the lost prophet, or the invisible man, or the unknown hero. He said to King, "Nonviolence is an ideology. It's not a tactic." He was born in 1912. He was raised by his grandparents who were members of the NAACP. And it was frequent that W.E.B would come to their house for dinner. When he was young, he witnessed a march in Westchester, Pennsylvania, where he grew up. It was a Klan march. That stuck with him through his entire life. When he was 15 years old, he became an activist, not just for human rights, but for gay rights. And at that time, that was unprecedented. He told the story to his grandmother, and his grandmother said, "Well, you do what you feel comfortable doing. If that's what you are, that's what you are." In 1937, he joined the Young Communist Party. And even long before there was the Rosa Parks, he had bus boycotts. He was a Quaker, so he believed in nonviolence. He contributed to the anti-war protests. And in 1941, he was arrested and jailed because he was a conscientious objector. In 1948, he made a visit to India to meet Gandhi. But Gandhi had been assassinated prior to his departure. But he stayed in India. In India, he learned nonviolence, and he knew what he can do with nonviolence. When he returned in 1950, he was arrested in Pasadena, California for lewd acts, or at that time, that was homosexuality. He was also a very strong advocate for the nuclear movement. In 1956, this gentleman met Martin Luther King in order to organize a Montgomery boycott. He said to King, "You are a leader of a nonviolent movement, yet you have guns and armed guards in your house." Well, that's true. What happened was there was a bombing in King's house, and this gentleman made King understand that guns weren't the right solution. In 1959, Martin Luther King went to India to learn what this gentleman told him. And King learned the nonviolent movement for himself. This man spoke out against the Vietnam War. But the most important thing that I recall is in 1963, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. This man, before Twitter, before smartphones, before computers, from a small office in Harlem, within 8 weeks, got 250,000 people to show up in Washington. That is even phenomenal for today's times. And he did that in 1963. At that same speaking event, there were 18 speakers. The 16th speaker was Martin Luther King, so he wasn't really that well known. But the 18 speakers that were on the schedule, on the agenda or program, only one speaker spoke that wasn't on the program. And that was Bayard Rustin, who I'm talking about. Of the 7 leaders, including Bayard Rustin, that received accolades from the presidents, I should say. A. Philip Randolph, Jamie Farmer, John Lewis, Whitney Young, Roy Wilkins, and Martin Luther King got the special presidential award from the president prior to their deaths. A special award was given to Bayard Rustin by Barack Obama in 2013. In 1997, he died in Leggett Hill Hospital, the Invisible Man. So if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, please subscribe and give me a like. I'd like to have that. The next episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm going more mainstream. The question is going to be, what is money and what really is money and why you need to know. Please give me some feedback on what you'd like to see in the future, particularly for Black History Month coming up and for Women's Month coming up after that. I thank you very much for your time and look forward to speaking to you again. So long.